I'm Tom Glassman. Welcome to Learning How to See. This is where we look at a few images and examine some basic techniques that anyone can use right away to start taking better photographs, regardless of the camera you use or your skill level. If you like what you're seeing, please consider subscribing for more tips. Also, liking doesn't hurt either. Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to look at a bunch of photographs that illustrate what I'm calling what's not there. Some of these you'll have seen before, some are just so-so images, but I want you to get a feel for when the background changes, suddenly images that typically aren't great images become better, more photographic worthy images, if you followed me with all that. And specifically, it's usually with fog or rain or snow. And let me start with this first one. This is taken at an airport during a rainstorm, and it's foggy, it's raining, the rain sheeting down the window, and this guy is directing in an airplane, and there's an airplane coming in from the right-hand side. But if this were a normal sunny day, you would see all the power lines and the industrial section way off in the background. But because it's foggy and rainy, this person out there in the runway in the rain is isolated, and it becomes a moderately interesting image. Let me go to another one here. Here is another image that's been done to death. This is Multnomah Falls. Why I'm showing you this one is because of the fog up here at the top. It gets rid of all the normal background up there, and it makes it look like the falls are just coming out of the sky. And that's not a typical version of this picture that you see that often. So that's why I took it. But again, it's the clouds and the fog obscuring something that makes a normal image a little bit more attractive. Another image, and again, we might have seen this before. This is Newport, Rhode Island. It's foggy, and what you can't see in the background are all the boats and big yachts. And again, this is why you should always go out in lousy weather, in fog, in rain, because what is a normal view is suddenly very, very different, and you can come away with a shot that normally wouldn't work. Another image is, this is in Newport, Oregon. It's a bridge, and you can see the fog. It just sort of disappears off in the distance. Without the fog, it would just be sort of a boring shot of a bridge. This way it looks like it's going into infinity, and it makes it a little more interesting. Now, there are going to be 3 shots of this thing, and this is what I ended up with, and I should have done it the reverse order. But this is the final shot I took of this. This is a stump that's out in the middle of a subdivision, and without the fog in the background, you would see all these modern kind of boring ranch homes, which really would not add to that image at all. So this is what I finally ended up with. Before I got here, I was looking at, again, this guy with the fog, and the fog blocking out all the background. And I like the tree sort of here and the slope of the angle and the fog, things disappearing. But one of the things I always do when I finish taking a shot, I step back and say, what's important to me? Why did I take this shot? And because this is really what was interesting, what I did was to take another version of this shot, but just focus in on him. And that's what you saw a moment ago. And here's where I started out. I liked this tree framing this, overarching, looking kind of creepy, some fence posts sticking up here, and this sort of, ent-looking, druid-esque kind of figure off in the distance, framed by all that. Nice and arty, but there's so much going on, you really can't focus on it. So that's why I kept moving in closer and closer. Again, what makes this shot is the fog. Without it, you'd see all the subdivision in the background and just nothing would work. Again, you might have seen this before. This is a sculpture by a local artist of some giant poppies, and they were in a field in a vineyard. And it's kind of a so-so image, but with the snow, suddenly you had all the, it got rid of all the grass and just made it more interesting with the white and the black, and the color stood out. So that's what's going on here. Again, snow is like fog. It just gets rid of a lot of normal stuff. This is a snowfield in Rhode Island. These are greenhouses right up here. And without the snow, it would just be a green pasture and wouldn't be that interesting. Having sort of a monochromatic look, top to bottom, makes it more interesting. So it's what's not there. A blue sky, green grass would not make a great shot. So that's what's I'm trying to get across in this instance. This is another case of what's not there. This is at a Tibetan monastery prayer garden in Oregon, and it's up in the mountains, and it was snowing, and what you see here is snow on the roof, and this is a snowdrift in the foreground with footprints down here in the snowdrift. What I think, to me, makes this image is without the snow, you'd see a boring roof up here, and you'd see the base of the pillars, and they're not that interesting. So the snow added a nice top and bottom effect, and it made the colors stand out even more. Here again is an image in the snow. It's some irrigation wheels, Immigrant Lake in Oregon. And it's a case where without the snow, it would just be green or brown grass, not that attractive. With the snow, it kind of made things stand out. So I always go out in snow or fog to see what I can stumble across and what's going to show up. And I'm dragging this guy out again. This is still my favorite all-time photograph. This is a color photograph of a knothole in a white picket fence. And what you see is snow in the background between the pickets. So without the snow, there'd be green grass there and it would not be that interesting. So the moral of today's lesson is go out in lousy weather and suddenly things that are there are not there, and suddenly an image that may not have caught your eye might for the first time. So always be looking. The other secret is look at things you'd like to shoot later on when you can't see the background. As I drive around the area here, I have about maybe 1 or 2 dozen images that I keep in the back of my mind. I know if it's raining or foggy or snowy, I'm going to go there right away and see if I can make a shot work. So add that to your sort of lesson and keep it in the back of your mind. Keep shooting, have fun, and we'll see you next time. Since I've started doing this series, I've also started watching a lot of YouTube videos just to get some ideas. And I suddenly realized how really, really important it is for people to like and subscribe. So if you can, please do it. It would really help. Also, if you have ideas, send us comments. Let us know what we should be talking about addressing. It'll show up in the videos. We can also email you some stuff. With that out of the way, thanks for watching. Thanks for your patience, and we'll see you next episode.